My name is George Ferguson and I'm the Sport Development Officer for Henshaws in Liverpool. And this is an insight into my working and social life. So I've just arrived into the office. Morning everyone.
Morning George.
I'm just taking my coat off and hanging it up. And this is my desk where I do the majority of my work. My eye condition is nystagmus and ocular albinism. It affects my everyday life in my mobility. It also affects me when I'm at work as well, and generally affects me throughout the day. And you tend to find with nystagmus, the more computerised work you do or using technology, you get tired a lot more quicker because of the issues with focus. And the ocular albinism is an issue when you're working in bright lights, say sunshine, things like that. Mobility, it's an issue then as well. So I particularly struggle when it is a bright day, for example. I also struggle with the nystagmus, with the focus. So even though I can orientate myself around places, I find it difficult to focus on certain things. And once I'm doing that, then I get more tired more quickly. I was taught mobility when I was at school. I went to a visually impaired and blind school, St Vincent's in Liverpool. I went there with my twin brother, and we both got the same condition. Mobility was taught to us at an early age, so we didn't have long cane training, but we were trained in short cane, and that was essentially to get around from A to B, not only in the school environment but outside as well. So how to cross roads safely, how to plan your route, essentially, so you could organise and know exactly where you're going to, and the safest route to get from A to B as well. I currently travel to work using Access to Work, so I get a taxi to work. Access to Work is a government scheme that enables disabled people to remain in employment, and they support with regards travel. They also support with regards technology and any sort of assistance in the workplace as well. So I use taxis to get to and from work, and while I'm in work I have a support worker. So this is my desk and I'm here at Henshaws, and this is my support worker Heather. Heather not only drives me to different meetings, but she also does as admin tasks as well. So if we would go to a meeting, she'd take notes, then type them up on the computer and forward them to me so I can access them on my computer. And the accessibility features on my computer are, I use Zoom Text, which is screen reader, and the speech on there allows me to read my emails and other documents. When I left school, I went straight into employment. I was working for Whitbread's, the beer company at the time. Then I went back to college and university and did a sports management degree. This enabled me then to get more into the sports development world. So essentially for the last 15, 20 years, I've been involved in sports development as a sports development officer. And now I'm specifically working with visually impaired people in the Liverpool area to try to increase participation of visually impaired people in activity. It's important for me to have a support network of other visually impaired people, because for me to access sport and physical activity or to be in the workplace, it's key for me to have like-minded people who are experiencing the same conditions as I do. It's important that we have that understanding, that insight and knowledge of what it's like to be visually impaired, so we have a lot in common and we're able to express that in our own circles. I've finished work for the day and I've now arrived at the Liverpool Tennis Centre to play visually impaired tennis with my friends. I've got changed now and I'm here on court with my other visually impaired tennis players and coach Callum. We're here on a weekly basis playing this adapted version of the game. As you can see, the tennis ball itself is adapted with ball bearings inside so people can hear it and see it as well. There's centres like this all over the country for visually impaired people to play the game, so don't just take my word for it. Get yourself to a local centre and get yourself playing.